I've had principal roles in 33 productions of the Valley Led Opera. And of course, people come up to me and ask me, which is your favorite role? Which is your favorite performance? And I have a lot of trouble with that because I'd say, well, almost all of them are my favorites. But if I'm forced to answer, I probably would say the 2000 Iolanthe is my favorite. Not necessarily my favorite, but certainly the most unique experience that I've had. I went to auditions that year, having done the role of Strephon in a previous production for the VLO, and I told the people that I was auditioning for any of the baritone roles. And I did my singing and my dialogue, I guess, and then I went home, and later I got a call, and it was from Peter Gutowski, who was the music director, a person I didn't know. He'd never directed me, and he was new to the VLO. And he said, well, we've made our decision. We'd like to offer you the part of the Fairy Queen. Dead silence. And I quickly went around in my mind trying to figure this one out. Any imagination disappeared, of course. I tried to imagine myself singing contralto. And I finally said, I don't think I can do that. I don't think this will work out for me. I don't think I would be able to do this, and so I'm going to have to refuse. He said, oh, well, we'll be disappointed, and good luck, and goodbye. So overnight happened, and the next day I found myself thinking about this possibility again and again, and imagination was back with me, and I started thinking about how the role might be conceived and how I could do it. And finally I was starting to get an idea that this was possible, but I had to, hear some more about what this was all about. I mean, did they just sort of wildly come up with this idea or whatever? So I had to call somebody, and who was I going to call? Well, I wasn't going to call Peter back because I didn't really know him at all. And the stage director was Russ Ekstrom, whom I had been in the chorus of a show previously that I'd been in, but this was his first directing experience with VLO, so I wasn't too sure I knew him very well. And then I thought of Cami Elbow. Now, Cami had been a singer in chorus for some shows that I'd been in. She'd also been a coordinating producer for a few shows, and so I called her. She would have been on the production team. And I said, Cami, I'm having some second thoughts about this and wondering the possibilities. And she said, oh, well, she explained that they hadn't really found a contralto that worked the way they wanted to. And then at one point they started thinking outside the box, and they thought of me as being the Fairy Queen. And after talking to her a while, I was getting more and more interested and excited. And finally I said, okay, sure, I'll try this. And, the next thing was to find out what concept they had of this character. And later on I discovered that from the director and other people, that their concept of the Fairy Queen with me as the part was a cross between Mae West and a Ziegfeld girl. Well, okay, I went to see some film clips of Mae West, and I went to see whatever I could about Ziegfeld girls to get some ideas. And I was getting pretty excited about this. The other group of people that was very excited about this were the costume people. And Elaine Walker started constructing a leotard. I mean constructing it, a busty leotard that I would wear, and then I was going to wear tights, and I was going to wear a big blonde wig, and diaphanous wings, of course, being the Fairy Queen. And the one sticky place was finding high heels that would be big enough for me to wear. Well, those were found, and so all of those obstacles were overcome. And we went into production. It was a tremendous lot of fun for me, and something I remember quite well. But I know that I had some physical problems with the thing, and I thought initially my problem would be my feet. How am I going to walk in high heels, and am I going to be tripping over stairs or something? Well, that worked out fine. I had no problem with that. But for about a month after the show, my knee joints, my hip joints ached tremendously. At 53 years old, those parts of my body weren't prepared to try to walk in some stereotyped, exaggerated simulation of a female, that I was trying to do on stage, and they felt a bit abused by that. So that was that was the only problem that came out of that. A final note was that in one of the performances, my wife Corinne was sitting in the audience and overheard a woman behind her saying, as I entered for the first time and started to sing, the woman said, "Where did they find her?"